I'm Zane Redfern, home decorating enthusiast and creator of At Home with Zane. So there are definitely some key elements to keep in mind whenever you are placing furniture in a living space. A room that's going to have a television and going to be that landing space for you and your family. So the first thing that I always suggest is to identify right away where your sofa and your television are going to be placed in the room. So in our family room, we've chosen to place our television on the one wall that allowed us the most wall space without obstructing any of the doors or windows that are in this room. This is really important to keep in mind whenever you are placing furniture in a room, is to be sure and measure the space so that you can accommodate for any outlets, doorways, windows, air conditioning vents, things like that that you need to keep in mind when you're going to place a large piece of furniture in a space. The next thing is that we knew we wanted our sofa to be sitting directly across from our television to avoid having to turn your neck or for it to be uncomfortable to watch TV. So the next best decision was to place our sofa directly across from our television on this exposed brick wall. Now again, we measured precisely to ensure that our sofa was going to be the proper length to accommodate for side tables to go next to the sofas, and then also we wanted to make sure that we chose a piece of furniture that if we needed to block any sort of AC vents, heating, cooling vents, it would allow the air to flow underneath the sofa so that if we had to obstruct anything, it wasn't going to make a huge impact in how much air was able to come into the room. I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind when you're placing your furniture. So the next thing that's really important is to ensure that your side tables are going to be a good fit for your sofa. You don't want a side table that's going to be too small, but you also don't want one that's going to be too large. If you place a really small side table next to a large sofa, it's going to look like it's off scale and it's going to look like it's a dwarf compared to the piece of furniture. But that same rule applies if you choose a side table that's really large. It's going to take over the piece of furniture that you're placing it next to. The next really big mistake that I see people make is they choose a lamp that is either too large or too small for the piece of furniture that it's sitting next to. You want to remember that these pieces should all marry in with one another. They should all be an appropriate scale for your space. Another thing that I absolutely try to avoid at all costs is placing furniture in front of windows, but sometimes it's inevitable. And so in this room, we actually had to place one of our chairs in front of a window. They fit to scale, and I think they complement the look of this room very nicely. The other thing that we chose to do in this room is to use ottomans. I love the idea of using ottomans instead of one large coffee table. By using these ottomans, not only does it afford us the ability to move them around and accommodate comfort wherever you're sitting in the room, they also provide great storage. So I hope you found some of these tips useful. If you are redecorating or refurnishing a space, that you will keep some of these tips and ideas in mind, and it will make your transition for new furniture or existing furniture that much easier.